Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Gina and I'm a real estate agent in Los Angeles. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe down below. First and foremost, I wanted to say that I hope that everyone is doing well. These times of the coronavirus pandemic are really tough on everyone, and I just hope that everyone's at home staying safe and well. In today's video, I'm just going to talk about how the coronavirus pandemic has affected the real estate industry and the real estate market so far. Of course, we don't know where it's going to go exactly. I'm also going to talk about predictions that people have for what's to come in the market. I'm going to start off by telling you guys about how doing real estate has changed super drastically just recently. So of course, in the last few weeks, starting April 18th is when we had our stay-at-home order here in California. So since then, we haven't been able to do anything in person. That includes showings, of course, no open houses. Open houses are still prohibited. Any showings, inspections, appraisals, anything that requires someone to go to a house and you to meet them there to open the door for them or whatever it is, that was strictly prohibited. But just this past weekend, the weekend of March 28th, March 28th, the real estate industry just got deemed an essential business. So that means that we do have a little more flexibility now. I don't know if this is a good idea that they did this, but now we're allowed to do showings on a very limited basis, so just as a last resort. So for example, right now we really strictly are just doing virtual tours, so 3D home tours online, video tours. We are allowed to go to a vacant house and do a video of it, FaceTime our clients and show them the house that way. Of course, nothing should be in person except as a last resort, and that means that, let's say someone has seen a video tour, seen a 3D tour, seen all the pictures of the house, looked through the history of the house and looked at all of the background that they can do online, and then they wanted to take a look at the house to make an offer. They are allowed to do that now. Of course, that requires proper precautions such as face masks, gloves, even booties on the shoes, and also using Lysol wipes. So that's kind of where we are at right now with doing things. Escrows are still holding together. So far for me, nothing has really been changed with the escrow process except that things are slowed down quite a bit, and now we have these new addendums called coronavirus addendums. I've already had to use this in a few cases. In escrow, these are just for time extensions, so things are taking a lot longer because things aren't able to be done in person. Time needs to be extended for escrow periods and contingency periods. Now, with real estate being deemed an essential business, we're also allowed to open the door for an appraiser or an inspector to come in. So in escrow, that helps a lot because we can go there, open the door, tell them that the door is unlocked, have them go in, do their inspection, and then go after them to lock the door, just to keep distances and safety at a maximum. So that really helps with things. In terms of getting a mortgage, there's a lot of things going on with that. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard that the Fed brought rates down to almost zero. That means that banks and lenders are borrowing money almost for free, but then they are charging consumers an interest rate. This was supposed to allow consumers to have lower interest rates, but actually the opposite is happening. People ran to the banks to get refinances on their home mortgages, and people ran to get pre-approved for loans, and there was just such a huge demand for loans that banks and lenders, just to get rid of people, were able to raise the interest rates. So interest rates are a little bit up from before this whole pandemic, but they're still relatively really low historically. Things with the loan process are definitely a lot slower because of the extra demand that there is there right now. With open houses being prohibited and showings being prohibited, things have slowed down a lot in terms of getting interest in properties is a lot more difficult for sellers. This hasn't yet really converted into a drop in prices because inventory is super low right now, but this potentially could cause prices to drop slightly. There is talk, though, that the new stimulus package that I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about the $2 trillion that the government is going to give out to people who make under a certain amount of income. They're talking about giving $1,200 to every adult who makes under $75,000. This new stimulus package that just got passed this weekend, a lot of people are saying is going to cause inflation because it's just going to be $2 trillion more in circulation that have not been in circulation before. That's going to cause the value of the dollar to go down slightly, and that potentially could cause a rise in real estate prices because inflation would mean that your dollar would not be worth as much. So that might counteract any drop in prices that there might be, but of course this is all speculation and no one really knows what's going to happen. And a lot of it depends on how long quarantine will continue on for. The coronavirus pandemic has a huge effect also on tenants, so people who don't own their own homes but rent them. Right now in California, there is a 3-month hold on evictions, so anyone who is not paying their rent right now in California does not have to worry about being evicted right now. Of course, this doesn't mean that they can't be evicted in the future, but right now, people are allowed to negotiate with their landlords if they need to defer their rent. Right now, in the state of California, this does require documentation that someone has lost their job due to the circumstances in the market right now, or has been furloughed from their job, for example. This does help renters, but can also affect landlords negatively. People who have loans on the properties that they own and rent out might not be able to be paying those mortgages back. So the government has also encouraged banks to be a little more lenient on mortgage payments and allow them to be deferred also. So there is leniency on everyone, but there's always bills to be paid on everything. There's definitely a domino effect when people are losing their jobs and being furloughed from their jobs and don't have the stable income that they did before. If any of you guys are out there are tenants or landlords who are curious about your rights as a tenant or a landlord and want more information on that, definitely do ask me anything in the comments below or reach out to me. My contact information will be in the description. I'm happy to share any resources with you that might be helpful for you guys. I do have an addendum that can be used for landlords and tenants who want to make a written agreement about rent deferrals, so do reach out to me if you want a copy of that. I'm happy to give that to you guys. If you guys would like to see a more analytical video that goes through the numbers, for example, the numbers of listings on the market right now, where prices have gone compared to this time last year, and the number of cancellations happening, for example, I'm happy to do a video on that to show you guys the difference between this year, March, and March of the last few years, just to see how the coronavirus has really impacted the market. One number that is quite remarkable is that this March of 2020, there's been a 300% increase in escrow cancellations since last year at this time. So there's 3 times the number of cancellations. One main reason that many people are canceling on purchasing homes right now is because they are losing their jobs and can no longer qualify for the loan. Of course, a lender is not going to lend to someone who doesn't have a job anymore, so that has caused a lot of people to not be able to afford their home anymore. And I just wanted to go over one more question that I've been getting a lot is, are people allowed to cancel a transaction because their stock portfolio tanked and they were depending on that to purchase a home? And the answer to this is kind of that there's no fine line if it's a yes or a no. It's kind of a gray area. It really depends. A lot of people are saying that you shouldn't have kept your money in the stock market if you already had an accepted offer, knowing that it is volatile and it could tank. Of course, most people didn't foresee that this was going to happen. So a lot of sellers are choosing to be lenient towards buyers who can no longer afford the property because of these reasons. I hope you guys enjoyed this update. Don't forget to like this video. It really helps me a lot. And I just wanted to reiterate that I hope you guys are doing well and staying home and staying safe. I'm sure we'll get through this just fine, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.